But let's go. Hello.
Where are we going?
To pick up our numbers.
See, we're gonna go to the, what's it called? The running expo to pick up the numbers. It's Friday, the race is on Sunday, and we're gonna show you the expo, which is not really that exciting, but it's gonna be part of the video. So anyway, it's a nice day. The top air. Tell people, are you recording?
C'est quoi?
You need to tell people that you're also doing the half marathon.
I'm also doing the half marathon.
And what time do you want to go for?
I hope I can do it in less than 2 hours. What do you think?
Less than 2 hours?
Yes.
You definitely can. What K?
Hour 15.
What is that per K?
That would be 5:20s, 5:30s.
I think you will go to 5 minutes.
Impossible.
Ooh. Can you hear me? I don't know if this is on. Ooh. Nice. So, it's now the next day, and I've picked up the bibs, as you saw. The expo was pretty cool. I don't know if you guys enjoy seeing that stuff, but anyway. What am I going to talk about today? Today, I want to give some info, or general info, on the small details that people find quite interesting. So, yeah, having been a pro cyclist in quite a few teams and observing a lot of different athletes doing different techniques for fueling and stuff, I think I can talk to some level of expertise. Obviously, I'm not a dietitian. I don't have a degree in it, and etc. etc. So take of that what you will. But yeah, I'll talk about today what I do, what works for me. Like, I've been doing this for a while now, and I know what works, and I've seen what works for a lot of guys, and it's pretty similar to what I do. So normally 4 days before, I start to dial in my nutrition. So I start to decrease my fiber a little bit, like decrease fully processed foods. I should be decreasing processed foods all the time, but that's just not the reality. Just to try and get, and why do I do that? Just to try and bring down inflammation a little bit. Sometimes when I'm training really hard and feeling a lot, and yeah, my body's just constantly getting refueled and yeah, trying to recover from the training, it can end up being a lot of inflammation. So when you do the taper week into a marathon, half marathon, or a big event, you can really take that week to kind of as a big anti-inflammatory and yeah, properly recover basically, and get your body ready to go hard. And yeah, part of that is yeah, massages. So this week I've had 3 massages with the Kneading Bodies at Barcelona. Shout out to Ollie. I'll leave a little @ here. But yeah, I've been seeing Ollie since I arrived in Barcelona last year, and he's been unreal. So if you're in Barcelona, definitely check him out. He's the only masseur that I've found in Barcelona that can really specialize in the type of work that I need, and he does a really good job. So Ollie, shout out. And back to the food stuff. I'll often just carb up with rice. So today we're the day before, and I take out, here's an example. It's lunch, and I've just got rice, eggs and avocado, olive oil and salt. It's not really that pretty, but it does a job. So yeah, half marathon's kind of interesting because it's not like a marathon where you're doing 2 hours and a bit full gas and you really need to carb up like crazy. I would actually say most amateur runners overfuel for this race. So they'll have like a huge pasta, maybe 2 pastas, 2 pizzas the night before, 2 gels for breakfast, a big bowl of oats, and they get to the start line and they feel a bit sluggish. So, you know, the carb revolution is definitely true, and yeah, you do need to carb up, but I think for a half marathon, you got to be careful not to overkill it. So yeah, the rice in the morning tomorrow, I'll have rice and only rice, maybe 1 egg. I will have maybe 400 milligrams of caffeine, which is a fair bit. I'm basically doing that based off what I'd have before a cycling time trial, because this effort is quite similar to a long cycling time trial. And I go off the protocol that we used to have in cycling teams. And I used to have about 400 to 500 milligrams of caffeine before these TTs. It tends to work. I did it for my 10K in November last year, and it worked a treat. And I'll do that through a coffee, and through some of the Amax caffeine tablets as well. Let's see, hang on. I'll do it, where is it? With two of these. So in these, there's 100 milligrams of caffeine, I'm pretty sure. Well, in this one, there's 75 milligrams. There's also another type that has 100 milligrams of caffeine, but basically you could have one of these at the start and then one halfway through. So that's 200 milligrams, and you can have a coffee and a few caffeine tablets. With regards to caffeine, it is a massive performance enhancer. Not massive, it's a performance enhancer. It really helps you dial in on race day and really get the engine going, so to speak. Like in cycling and running, it's very well understood, practiced, and creates results. So yeah, you can get that through various types. As I said, you can have it through the gels. Now, the danger of having it with a caffeine gel is that it can mess up your stomach a bit. So you're almost better off to do it before the start, just in Amax's pure pill form. So that's where you'll actually get the most pure form of caffeine, and it'll actually absorb way faster and better, and will be less likely to cause gut problems. That's a big tip. A lot of people understand caffeine now, and they don't think they quite do it properly. But in my case, I've got a good gut, so I can just have these. But for someone that is struggling with gut problems during a race because of caffeine consumption, this Amax caffeine tabs, which I'll put a photo of here, can actually help solve that. What else? I'll be having one of these as well, alongside my breakfast. So in this, there is how much salt? In one sachet, there is 1 gram of salt, which is actually quite a lot. That's quite impressive. Shout out to Amax. A lot of these energy mixes don't have salt integrated into their product, which is a big problem because, yeah, when you carb up, you also need to stock up on your sodium levels. And an easy way of doing that is to have salt and carbs in your drink mix. So this is the energy drink that I'll be taking with my morning rice about 3 hours before my race. So yeah, breakfast will be 3.5 hours, 3 hours before my race. I can also, if I don't want to have rice, I can just have a big piece of sourdough with, that also works, and salt on top. Controversial, but it works. So yeah, 4 days before, I cut out a lot of the fiber. That's to give my gut like a bit to rest, and also the low fiber intake helps you actually lose some weight. You know, everyone's always trying to, I mean, it's a hot topic, the whole weight thing, but when you do a low FODMAP diet, like a low fiber diet for a few days, and you do it properly, you can actually shed quite a few kilos, especially if you already eat a lot of vegetables before that. Like I notice when I do this 4-day kind of low fiber thing before a race, I really feel good on race day. I don't feel sluggish. I don't feel like I've carved up and everything, well hydrated, and I don't feel full. which is really important because most people feel full on the start line, and that means that they've done something wrong, in my opinion. Obviously, if you're an Ironman, it's different because it's such a long event. You need to carb up like crazy and you want to feel full. But for a half Ironman, for a half marathon, different game. What else? Yeah, that's about it. Also, one thing I didn't explain the other day was I sent a message to Saw Running a few weeks ago when I was in Australia, and I said, hey guys, I like your stuff. I'm doing some running things alongside my triathlon. Would you be interested in, I don't know, doing something alongside my running story, or whatever you want to call it? I hate the word story. And they replied to me pretty quickly, and I had a call with the guys, and so I'm going to be wearing Saw stuff in this race and in my training. I've already been trying it out, and it's some pretty cool stuff, like really nice stuff. So this is the hat. Let's see, hang on. I never wear a race hat on race day, but I always want to take it off because for some reason it just feels better without. I think wearing a hat when you're running looks better, but on race day it's about what feels good. So I don't know. Maybe I'll wear it in the race. I don't know. What else? So let me put this on my this thing. So these are actually the race tights as well. They're super lightweight. I don't know if the camera grabs the material properly, but yeah, it's pretty cool. It's got like a proper back pocket, which most race tights don't have, so you can put a gel in there and stuff like that. And these pants feel like you're actually not wearing anything, which at first it was a strange feeling because yeah, it just feels like you don't have any pants on. But when you actually get running in and you start working hard, it's quite a good feeling. Yeah, I'm a big tights guy. Sometimes it looks a bit ridiculous when I'm running home in Barcelona and I'm in a supermarket and I'm in tights, because that's not really a thing here in Barcelona. Anyway, I don't care. Saw socks. These ones are quite high, which is controversial. I think I'm gonna have to wear lower ones, but I haven't been given all the stuff yet. So in the future, I'll wear quarter socks. This is their tee, pretty nice fabric, cool color too. I'll wear that in the warm up. And then this is the singlet. The cool thing about this company is that they support grassroots and all the clubs in the UK. So they're actively involved in the running community, unlike most big clothing companies. And yeah, let me try and show you the stuff. So yeah, it's a day before and I've already got my race number on. I'm that guy. But yeah, you can kind of see how lightweight it is. Like, you can probably see my hand through that. You see that? Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, shout out to Saw. Cheers, guys. Let's talk shoes. So people love this stuff. So do I. And I've been testing out shoes recently and realizing that different brands and also different versions of shoes within those brands can make a big difference in your performance. A lot of people will say in cycling, they say, all the top end road frames are the same standard these days. That's not true. And you can also say the same about these super shoes. There's so many forums these days that talk about shoes being all the same performance because they're all so good, but that's not true. Based off how you run, your weight, where you hit the ground will really determine what shoe is best for your race day. So I'm not sponsored, right? And yeah, I'm lucky enough to be in a position where I can try out a few shoes, and I've worn a lot of pair of shoes now over the last few months. And yeah, I've worn Alpha 1s, Vapors, Vapor 3s. So like these, for example, these are really nice, but for a half marathon, I actually prefer a shoe that's a bit more cushiony. If I'm doing a stride, 200s on the track, these shoes will feel nicer than, say, the Adidas Pro 4s. But for the half marathon, I need a shoe that's got a little bit more cushion. So that's why, yeah, these Vaporflies are unreal for like a 10K or a 5K, and also just training on the track, which is why I got them. But my ultimate choice was the Adidas Pro 4s for this half marathon. They felt unreal on the treadmill the other day when I wore them, and I did some strides in them again today, and they feel pretty sick. Yeah, these 200 grams. The Vapors are basically 200 grams. Probably the best shoe that I've ever worn for my stride are the On Strikes. I wore them in my 10K in November, but I can't wear them because they dig into my heels. When I wear them, they fully rip up my heels, and that sucks because I want to wear them, and the way I hit the ground in those shoes is so nice. So hopefully in the next models they'll sort that out. But for the moment, these ones. And yeah, what else? I would say these are better than the Alpha 3s. Controversial, but a lot of the forums will also say that. These feel nicer than the Alpha 3s, but the Alpha 3s, the way they specialize is like for a marathon, I think, come like 30k, they really protect your legs so well that I think that's where they come into their own. So like when I do a workout in the Alpha 3s, they might not feel that fast in the session, but after in the warm down, I will feel like I haven't really done a workout. And so that just reflects the way they absorb all the force or something like that. Anyway, more to the point, I'm running on these on tomorrow and I'm looking forward to trying them out. White shoes, white socks. I must be a cyclist. So back on the food stuff, something that you might find interesting is like it becomes a challenge when you taper for these races to not put on too much weight. I don't like talking about these things, but it's something that people find interesting and it's high performance related. So I understand that this stuff is controversial and I don't have a degree in this, so take it as you want. But yeah, as I was saying, I reduce a lot of the fiber out of my diet as I carb up and also decrease my volume in exercise the week before so that I freshen up so my cardiovascular system can go full on race day. Basically, if I don't taper and I've done a full training week, my max heart rate will be 173 maybe. If I taper, it'll be 189, maybe 190. So that makes a big difference in the amount of oxygen that you can send to your muscles. That's kind of how it works. Yeah, I think that's just due to the load of training. If I don't taper, that cardiac fatigue is quite common. Yeah, at the end of a big month block, my max heart rate can be 20 beats lower than what it is if I start exercising after the off season, for example. But yeah, this fiber stuff to reduce stress on the gut the days before, so that when I carbo load, I can do it without any problem. And then also, I find that I can be 2 kilos, maybe 2 and a bit kilos lighter come race day, which can make a real difference. If you go and run outside on the street and put 2 kilos in a backpack, it's huge. Not that it's like that, but you get the idea. So yeah, low fiber, carb up, freshen up, and also sleep is really important. You want to get like 8 hours. I wouldn't say the night before is important, but the week leading into the race is quite important. I've been sleeping quite well recently. And yeah, anyway, I'll do a big riding and swimming week next week. So my triathlon career still exists, don't worry. But my running is going to be in a very good space coming out of this block. So anywho, enough of that waffle. Let's go to race day. See you there.